Hello, Carl here with Sustainability Theory News. We're over at the website for The Guardian, so theguardian.com, and they have an in-depth article talking about why America's farmers are killing themselves in record numbers. And it's not just America, Australia and India and many countries, farmers are committing suicide. In America, it's 5 times the rate for the general population, twice the rate of war veterans. And military veterans are historically very high suicide rates for the last couple of decades. So, why on earth are these farmers killing themselves? Well, of course, depression, mental illness, it's a very serious condition. Yes, perhaps we all have the ability within ourselves to get over such disabilities and diseases, but for some people it's just too difficult for them to bear. And they go into some pretty deep psychological stuff here, but basically it all comes down to debt. Modern farmers are grain farmers, wheat, corn, soybeans, and the like. Those crops require a lot of equipment, a lot of money for fertilizers, pesticides, and seeds, and maybe storage facilities as well. And even if you're a chicken farmer or any other industrialized farmer, usually you have to spend a lot of money in capital outlays, which leads to a lot of debt. And the prices for commodities such as corn, wheat, and soybeans are really, really low. It's 50% down from 2013 to 2017, half the price they were able to sell their food for before. And right now, the median farm income in 2017 for American farmers is negative $1,325. That means there are more farms in America, or there's an equal number of farms that made more than that and less than that. So most farms are losing money this year in America. That no wonder they're depressed. More grain farmers should diversify their crops and get out of such a crowded industry. If there's all these grain farmers, partly because we subsidize it. We give subsidies to these grain farmers, so there's a lot more producers. It causes a huge glut of supply, and supply and demand will tell us if there's a huge glut of supply, too much supply, not enough demand, prices will plummet. So, quite frankly, a lot of grain farmers just need to leave the industry in order for prices to, and well, subsidies should end as well, in order for prices to normalize and farmers to actually start making a living again. But it's also the fear of the loss of their land. Some doctors in this article say that could be the biggest motivator. They talk about agrarian imperative theory. Farmers, they have the urge to supply the essentials for life, food, clothing, tools, etc. And this drive leads them to farming in the first place. But it could also lead to depression if they can no longer satisfy that urge to create life's essential supplies. Now, I just want to end this with a couple of quotes from this article. Of course, I will link to it in the description if you want to read more about it. Dr. Mike Rossman wrote, "The rate of self-imposed farmer death rises and falls in accordance with their economic well-being. Suicide is currently rising because of our current farm recession." Again, low commodity prices, but high business costs. Dr. Nancy Zydek says the well-being of farmers is inextricably linked to the health of rural communities. The grain prices are low, the gas prices are high. Farmers feel the strain of, oh, I've got to get this stuff in the field, but I can't sell it. I can't pay for next year's crop. I can't pay my loans at the bank off. And that impacts the rest of us in a small community. Because if the farmers can't come into town to purchase from the grocery store, the hardware store, the pharmacy, then those people also struggle. If you are a farmer or anyone contemplating suicide, seek help. Mental help, of course. There's lots of mental health professionals. You just have to seek them out. You can watch YouTube videos on trying to improve depression. That can only go so far, though. If it is a farm or business-related problem, seek business help. Talk to some coaches. Research some articles and some videos. And diversify your business. If it's a farming business, diversify the crops that you plant. That way, your farm is more resilient to swings in the commodities market. And maybe look beyond the commodities market for selling some of your produce. Of course, I will again link this article in the description if you want to read more about it. And if you'd like to see more news headlines like this, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.